We are meant to call from out of the past stories, strange and weird.
Tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre.
Stories of the supernatural, the supernormal, dramatizing the fantasy, the mystery, the unknown. We tell you this frankly, so if you wish to avoid the excitement and tension of these imaginary plays, we urge you calmly and sincerely to turn off your radio now.
This is The Horror, old-time radio horror stories that you can find every Saturday at relicradio.com. Thanks for joining me this week. We're going to hear from the CBS Radio Mystery Theater this time. A series that debuted in 1974, aired until 1982, produced 1,399 different stories, all hosted by E.G. Marshall except for its final year. We're going to hear from their first year, from March 6th, 1974. Here's The Sending.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Sit down and try to make yourself comfortable. Yes, it is quite warm in here, but don't worry about it, because in just a moment, we'll bring you a tale that will chill your blood. A tale of black magic that may have begun centuries ago, but which takes place today. A tale in which one of the dark powers of the pits is released on the campus of a Midwestern university.
Did you hear that? It's just the wind. No, it's not. It's something else. I don't hear anything. Oh, I do. A kind of humming, singing sound. Look over there, near Brewster Hall. It's only a shadow. It's moving. It's coming this way. Oh, now stop it, Debbie. You're getting yourself all worked up. It's coming this way. There. It's got eyes. It's that thing I saw in the mirror. Get out of here. Run. Debbie, wait. Oh, don't go that way. This way. Over toward me.
Our mystery drama, The Sending, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Robert Newman and stars Mandel Kramer and Marion Seldes. It is sponsored in part by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Hi, son. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Junior.
Kellogg's Special K presents Junior Gives Up. Junior, why aren't you eating your Special K? It's your favorite cereal.
Oh, just 'cause.
Just 'cause why, honey?
Just 'cause Darla said some evil things about it. That's just 'cause why.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Darla. Hi, sis.
Hi, Junior.
Darla, what did you tell Junior about his Special K?
Daddy, all I told him was that Special K is good for her.
Yeah, and anything that's good for me never seems to taste good.
But, Junior, you already know that Special K tastes good.
Who do I believe? Darla or my taste buds?
What's that, son?
Oh, nothing, Dad.
Son, Special K is America's favorite high-protein cereal. It's got minerals, vitamins, iron, and all those good, nutritious things. But it got to be so popular over the years because it tastes good, too.
You mean it's good for me and tastes good, too?
Right, son.
Right, Dad.
Right, Junior. Right.
Right, indeed. Start your balanced breakfast with Kellogg's Special K. It's nutritious and delicious.
Right, Dad.
It takes less to fill your shopping cart at Lucky Discount Supermarkets.
An unconditional guarantee of satisfaction or your money back. That's Lucky's policy. At Lucky, we realize the price of meat is high, and we want to make sure that you're getting full value for your money. Full value in taste, full value in price. We choose our federally inspected meats for flavor and tenderness to assure you high quality. We trim the excess fat and bone from our beef before it's packaged to assure you highest value, more for your money. That's the true discount pricing of Lucky.
Lucky Discount Supermarkets.
Is there such a thing as black magic? The ancients thought there was. For centuries, there were those who were willing to trade their souls for the power to call up and control the dark forces of the pit. To what end? Sometimes for power, for wealth. Sometimes, as in this tale, to achieve eternal youth, eternal life. But as we will see, there is always great danger involved, and the price is always high, and usually paid in blood. Our spine tingler begins in a large, rambling house on the edge of the campus of a Midwestern university. A gray-haired woman, strangely shrunken, but with intense, gleaming eyes, sits in a chair in a sparsely furnished room, waiting and listening.
Arnold?
Yes? Where are you?
You know where I am. In my room.
Hello, Mia. How are you?
You know that, too. Where have you been?
At a faculty meeting and then at my office.
And you couldn't get home before this?
I had several conferences. I had to arrange my schedule.
That's what you said yesterday.
Mia, it always takes a few days when you're starting in a new place. Why are you so impatient?
Why? Have you forgotten how I get when my time is running out? Do you realize I've only got about 2 weeks left?
I told you to relax, Mia. Classes will be starting tomorrow, and you know how quickly I can work when I have to. I should have someone for you within a few days. So, to sum up our first session, what we're dealing with then is a tradition that goes back to the dawn of time. Man's belief that he can control not the forces of nature, but the forces that shape nature, and can give him power over other men, and even over life and death. That will be all for today. You have your reading list and your assignment for next time. However, if any of you are interested in any of the many fields I covered in my outline, by all means, come talk to me and I'll give you some additional reading for a special report.
Well, what'd you think, Beth? Well, it was quite a lecture. I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm not talking about the course. I'm talking about him. He's really something, isn't he? Oh, come on, Debbie. He's married, isn't he? Oh, sure he is. All the really attractive ones are. But his wife is about 20 years older than he is. Not only that, but she's not well. How do you know that? I made it my business to find out. Since he just got here, it wasn't easy. But if you really want something... Debbie. Okay. There's no reason why you should care. You've got someone for yourself. If you're talking about Bill, I haven't got him. He just has the room across the hall from me. Which he made a point of getting last spring. So? Give me a hand. Come on up and talk to Lansing with me. All right. As a matter of fact, I was going to do it anyway. I thought I might do one of those special reports. Oh, great. Then you talk to him and I'll tag along. Okay. Professor Lansing?
Yes?
I'm Beth Howard. I'd like to do one of the special reports you talked about.
Oh, I'm delighted, Miss Hahn. It usually takes 3 or 4 sessions before anyone volunteers. Was there something you were particularly interested in?
Well, yes, the tarot.
I should have known. That's usually one of the first assignments to be requested. Tell me, do you have a set of tarot cards?
No, I haven't.
Well, after you do your report, I'm sure the bookstore will have to order them. But in the meantime, if you'll stop by my office this afternoon, I'll give you my set and also a supplementary reading list.
Oh, thank you, Professor.
Not at all. What about your friend? I'm sorry, I don't believe I know your name.
Debbie Ross.
Would you like to take on one of the special assignments too, Miss Ross?
Oh, well, not right now, Professor, but I'll probably ask for one after the next session or two. But in the meantime, I wanted to tell you that I think the course is absolutely fascinating.
Well, thank you, Miss Ross. Today's lecture was very general, of course, an attempt to indicate approach and sketchy in background, but I hope you'll continue to find it interesting.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
right, Mia. I told you you could relax, and you can.
You've got one?
I have several. Two in particular. I'm sure you'll be delighted with either one of them.
You're sure?
Mia, haven't I done it often enough so that I can tell?
Yes, we both have, but Arnold, it'll have to be soon, or I'll be so weak I won't be able to help.
Don't worry, Mia. It will be soon. Not more than another few days.
All the power that ever was or will be is here now. Yes? Who is it?
Who would you like it to be?
Hi.
Hi, yourself. So you're into the tarot.
How did you know that?
I heard your intoning.
Oh, yes. But how did you know that that had anything to do with the tarot?
I'm not exactly an ignoramus, but I did a lot of reading in it on my own, and in practically everything that was related to it.
You never cease to astonish me.
Yes, I'm quite an astonishing guy.
Uh-huh.
But how come you're not just studying it, but working with the cards?
It's for Professor Lansing's course. I'm doing a special report for him.
Oh, good old Witchcraft 1-2.
Now, come on, Dill.
We were a little surprised when we heard he was going to be giving it. Though I don't know why we should have been. Quite a few of the universities are giving courses like it. After all, this is the age of Aquarius.
It happens to be a very interesting course.
Yeah, sure it is. And Lansing's a fascinating man.
Yes, he is. You know him?
I've never met him officially, but I've seen him at the pool.
The pool?
Yeah, he's a very good swimmer.
Oh, I'll have to tell that to Debbie.
Why?
Well, she's taking the course, too, and she's got quite a thing about him.
Yeah, well, just tell her to watch her step.
Oh, because he's married?
No, because I've got a funny feeling about him.
Yes, come in.
Good afternoon, Professor Lansing.
Good afternoon. It's Miss Ross, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, I hope this is all right, my coming here to your office.
Well, that's what I'm here for. What can I do for you?
Well, I told you after your first lecture that one of these days I'd like to do one of your special reports.
Yes, I remember. And you're ready to do one now, are you?
I've gotten pretty well squared away in all my other courses, so I do have time for it.
Well, I'm delighted. Now, is there any area that you're particularly interested in?
No.
Well, then how about divination?
Foretelling the future?
That's right.
That's a big field, isn't it?
Yes, it is. There must be 100 ways people have used to look into the future. I'll give you a reading list on it, and why don't I give you this, too?
What's that?
It's called a speculum. It's an old bronze mirror.
What a fascinating-looking thing.
Yes, it is, isn't it? I got it in Paris years ago. I've never been able to date it, but it's probably Roman, Mithraic.
But what is this strange-looking head on it?
That's Kronos, or eternal time. He was an important figure in the mysteries of Mithra.
And what do I do with it?
Well, it was undoubtedly used not just in Roman times, but all through the Middle Ages to foretell the future by looking into a mirror.
Oh.
Why don't you try it? You'll find the technique described in Zeller, one of the first books on the reading list.
Oh, it sounds very exciting. Thank you very much, Professor.
Not at all. It's a very rare and unusual thing, so I wouldn't give it to just anyone. But I know you'll take good care of it. And we'll all be looking forward to your report. Mia, I've got the girl. One of the two I told you about. Her name is Debbie Ross.
She has the mirror?
I just gave it to her.
Good. When can we do it?
You are impatient, aren't you?
Yes.
All right. We'll do it tonight.
I hope you're approaching the occult with a proper amount of skepticism, said Professor Lansing. But somehow he didn't sound very skeptical himself just now. Exactly what are he and his wife planning to do tonight? And what does that have to do with the mirror he gave Debbie? We'll find out shortly when I return with Act 2.
Who knows how to help you solve your shopping problems? The Better Business Bureau knows.
Wednesday, 10 o'clock. I'm back at the office working on the case when my secretary brings me the mail. Thanks, kid. The usual stuff. Then I see it. It's addressed to me, resident. Inside, a fake rabbit's foot. A pitch, a $2 donation, or send back the rabbit's foot. My problem, what to do about it.
I'll help you with good advice from the Better Business Bureau.
Oh, yeah? Spill it.
If you receive unordered merchandise in the mail, you are under no obligation to return it or pay for it.
Thanks, pal. You're okay.
Just another consumer tip from your Better Business Bureau.
America's largest is now paying savers the highest interest rates in its history. Harry Wanzel, don't these higher rates start with the regular passbook accounts?
Absolutely. The current annual passbook rates at most banks is still 4.5%. Home Savings pays 5.25%, compounded daily, with full interest paid day in to day out. And with just a $1,000 balance, you get a long list of free services that make your actual earnings much greater. Moreover, you don't even need a passbook. At your option, you may use your Home Savings Prestige card for all transactions. Home will mail you a statement every month. Every month, a complete record of your account. It really pays to start your higher interest earnings at America's largest with a 5.25% passbook or statement savings account.
Just as important, Home Savings gives you the backing of America's largest, the only association over $5 billion strong.
Unto all things there is a season. And of course, the proper time for one of the darkest aspects of the occult black magic is night. Well, it's night now, about 10 o'clock. And Beth Howard has just arrived at Debbie's rooming house, which is only a block or so from the campus.
I was afraid you weren't coming. Well, you said it was important, that you had something to show me. I have. Look. Oh, wow. What is it? A speculum. What's that? An old bronze mirror, probably Roman. Where did you get it?
From Professor Lansing.
Oh.
I went to see him this afternoon.
Beth?
I think he likes me. He said he wouldn't give it to just anyone.
I'm sure he wouldn't. It's a very unusual thing. What are you supposed to do with it?
Well, it's all here in this book. The room should be dark, lit only by one candle, and you sit with your back to the candle, and you stare into the mirror, keeping your mind a blank.
Uh-huh. Have you done it yet?
No. Well, I started to, and I felt a little funny about it.
Funny how?
Just funny. It's a wonderful-looking thing, but it's pretty weird. You know, all those figures around the edge of it.
Is that why you called me?
Yes. I thought maybe you wouldn't mind staying here with me while I tried it.
Oh, of course I don't mind. Are you going to do it now?
Oh, yes. I'll light the candle. Get the light switch.
All right. It's strange, but I know how you feel. I felt very much the same way when I was working with the tarot cards. We don't really believe in any of the things we're doing, but for centuries, people did believe in them.
Keep quiet. I'm going to look and concentrate.
All right. Well, do you see anything?
I don't know. I think maybe...
What do you see?
Wait, I'm not sure. It's probably just a shadow, but I do think I see something in there.
What does it look like?
It's hard to tell. It's dark, very dark and shapeless. It's moving. It's turning. Beth, it's got eyes. Flaming eyes.
Oh, come on now, Debbie.
It's looking at me. Put on the light, Beth. I'm not going to look anymore.
Okay.
Oh.
You really did think you saw something.
Yes.
Well, as you said, it was probably just a shadow, the candle flickering. You really are shook up, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
You want to come over to my place and stay overnight with me?
Well, could I?
Of course. Bill's out, too, giving a seminar, but he should be back soon, and if my light's on, he'll come in for a while.
Oh, good. Just let me get my coat and wrap this up again.
You taking the mirror?
Oh, I better. It may be a scary thing, but it's very valuable, and I said I'd take care of it.
All right, Mia.
Is it time?
Yes. Let's go into my study.
You'll have to help me.
Of course. Take my arm.
Oh.
Slowly.
Arnold, I really am weak. I've never felt so weak before.
It doesn't matter. We'll all be over in a little while. Here, now, sit down.
Yes.
I'll get the box. Here, now, hold it while I light the incense.
I have it. Where do you think she is?
What is the difference? She has the mirror. No matter where she is, it will find her. Are you ready?
Yes.
Give me the rod.
Here.
All right, now you'll be quick with the art theme when I need it.
Yes.
Peor, wherever you are, hear me. Do you hear me, Peor? With this rod, and in the names of Gagerem, Amatet, Algar, and Alcasta, I summon thee.
It's coming, Arnold. There it is. Over there.
I see it. Take the rod and give me the arm.
Why must it be wrapped this way?
You know why. It mustn't be touched until it's needed. Quickly, hurry.
Here.
Stay where you are. I hold the arm, whose hilt is signed with the seal of Solomon, and which is more powerful than you are. Now hearken to me. We have a life for you. You will know her as you always have before, because she has your mirror. I give her to you, and thus buy another year of life for Mia. Is it agreed? Good. Begone then, and take her, and then fulfill your part of the bargain.
It's gone.
Yes.
Are you all right?
Yes. Yes. Somehow I always forget how much it takes out of me. Yeah, here's the Arthim. Wrap it up again carefully. I'll get us both some brandy.
Why are you going this way? Well, I thought we'd cut across the Kansas. Why? You're still upset, aren't you? Yes.
Look, I'm not going to say it's silly. I've gotten anxious myself at times when there was no real reason for it. But you know the whole thing was just your imagination. You've been doing a lot of reading about things that are strange, and you think you saw something in the mirror. Probably one of those heads that are on it.
I guess you're right.
I'm sure I am. But if it's going to affect you this way, maybe you should give up the course altogether.
No, that seems silly. Besides, you always claimed one of my troubles was I was too literal and I didn't have any imagination.
Well, it's beginning to look as if I was wrong. Well, why don't we talk to Bill about it? It turns out he knows a lot about this sort of thing. How come? Well, he got interested in it through his work in English Lit. The tarot when he was writing a paper on the wasteland, and black magic when he was doing an analysis of the Gothic novels.
You two are really an item, aren't you?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, of course you do. You never see anyone else, neither does he.
Well, I like him, and he likes me.
You just like him?
Okay. I more than like him. If he asked me to marry him, I'd do it in a minute.
He will.
How do you know?
I just think he will.
Well, it's not all that simple. He's just an instructor now, and it'll be a while before he gets his... What is it?
Don't you hear that?
Oh, it's just the wind.
No, it isn't. It's something else.
I don't hear anything.
Well, I do. A kind of humming, singing sound. Look, over there, near Brewster Hall.
It's only a shadow.
It's moving. It's coming
No, hey, stop it, Debbie. You're getting yourself all worked up about nothing. It's coming this back. It's got eyes. It's that thing I saw in the mirror. Come on. Run. Debbie, wait. If you're going to run, don't go that way. Oh, come this way. Over toward me.
Beth, darling. Open your eyes. Beth. Good girl. I was starting to think I should call a doctor or take you over to the infirmary.
What? Oh, Bill.
Yes. How are you?
I don't know. What happened?
I'm not sure. I found you lying on the sidewalk at the edge of the campus. I brought you up here to your room.
Oh, my head hurts.
I'm not surprised. You got a nasty bump. You must have fallen and banged it. Now get a wet towel. I'll put on a compress.
No, wait. Debbie! What happened to Debbie?
Debbie?
Yes, she was with me. We were going across the campus when suddenly we saw it. The thing from the mirror, and we started to run. And
Wait a minute. What thing?
I told you, the thing from the mirror. It came after us. After her, and I heard her scream. Oh, Bill, you've got to go look for her.
Yeah, sure. Look, let me get that.
No, I'm all right. You've got to go find her.
Now, quiet down, Beth. Now, when I found you, you were all alone.
Because I ran one way toward the house here, and she ran the other, and it was after. You don't believe me.
Well, it's a little hard when I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, what was this thing that came after you, and what was the mirror?
The mirror that Professor Lansing gave her. She was going to do a report for him on divination, like the one I'm doing on the tarot. And
all right, now, will you hold it a minute? When I left you to go to my seminar, you were still here.
Uh-huh.
You said you were going to stay here and do some reading.
Right, and then Debbie called and asked me to come to her place, and she said she had something to show me.
The mirror.
Yes. An old bronze one, a speculum, she called it. She was supposed to look into it, describe what she saw.
Yeah, speculomancy.
That's right. But she felt funny about it, nervous. So she wanted me there while she did it.
Yeah, and did she do it?
Yes, we put out the light and lit a candle, and she saw, well, no, she thought she saw something in it, a dark shape with flaming eyes, and that made her more jumpy than ever, so I told her to come back here and stay overnight with me.
Mm-hmm. So you started to walk across the campus together.
That's right, and there was no one around, and then we heard something, a strange sound.
The wind.
Oh, that's what I thought, too, at first. But it wasn't. It was a kind of a musical note, and then we saw it, this dark shape.
Did she see it, or did you?
We both did. She saw it first, and... Bill, you think I just imagined it?
Oh, don't you?
I don't know.
Well, let's go back over it again. She was tense, nervous, thought she saw something in the mirror, and that made her more nervous. So she decided to come over here with you. Then she saw something, a shadow of some sort, which she identified with the thing she thought she'd seen in the mirror.
But I saw it too, Bill.
After she described it to you.
But I'm sure I did see it. It was huge, dark, and... All right, if I did imagine it, where's Debbie?
She's probably back in her room, embarrassed to death at the fuss she made.
I suppose that's possible. When I think about it, it does sound a little silly. I mean, two grown women getting hysterical, but, would you call her and make sure? Her number's in the book next to the phone.
Sure. Let's see. Here we are. I think maybe she ought to come over here anyway so that we can talk about this, because if the two of you are going to get all worked up about that ridiculous course of Lansing...
It's not ridiculous. It's very interesting just because we got a little silly about it. Well?
Well, there's no answer.
Yeah, I don't like this. I think we should go and look for her.
To look where? If she's not in her room and she didn't come up here, she could be anywhere. I mean, with another friend.
I don't care. I still want to look for her. I'll show you where it happened, where we started running and...
Well, what good will that do, unless she fell and hurt herself also? Look, I'll tell you what. I'll call the campus police and see if they came across her or heard or saw anything.
All right.
Hello, security. This is William Taylor of the English department. This is a rather odd call, but I wonder if any of your men ran into an undergraduate by the name of Debbie Ross within the last hour or so. Yeah, well, another student, Beth Howard, was with her. They were walking across campus and they were frightened by something. No, it wasn't a man. It was, what? Oh, no. Where was this? I see. All right. I'll come right over.
Bill, what is it?
One of the guards found her about 10 minutes ago.
What do you mean, found her?
Found her body in the bushes near Brewster Hall. She's dead.
Man is a rational animal, and we always look for a rational explanation of anything that puzzles us. But what if there is no rational explanation for it? Do we admit that there may be things we don't know about? Things that we've refused to recognize because the idea terrifies us? Debbie Ross is dead. But how did she die? We'll find out when I return shortly with Act 3.
When you say Budweiser, when you say Bud, you say a lot of things nobody else can say.
When you say Bud, you've gone as far as you can go to get the very best.
When you say Budweiser, you tell the world you know what makes it all the way. When you say Bud, you say you care enough to only want the king of beers. There is no other one. There's only something left, because the king of beers is beating all around. When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
With the high cost of labor these days, more and more people are starting to fix things around the house themselves, whether it be fixing a leaky faucet, painting, or even remodeling a room. But before you can fix anything around the house, you need the proper tools so you can do the job like a professional. And that means Sears Craftsman. And right now, during Sears' gigantic National Hardware Sale, you'll save on carpenter's tools, hand tools, power tools, mechanics tools, and paints. So hurry into Sears and take advantage of fabulous hardware bargains like this. One of the most useful tools that a home craftsman can have in his workshop is a Sears Craftsman Power Router. It cuts, shapes, routes, grooves, mortises wood or plastic, and Sears has slashed their price on this fabulous Craftsman Power Router by $20. It was $59.99, but it's offered now for Sears' low price of just $39.97. Don't wait. Buy Sears' fabulous Craftsman Router now for Sears' low price of just $39.97. So hurry into Sears and get in on your share of the fabulous hardware bargains.
It's several days later. Many things have happened in that time. There have been questions, investigations, explanations, and recriminations. There has also been a funeral. As far as Beth is concerned, that is the only thing that really mattered. That and what has happened between her and Bill.
Yes? Who is it?
Bill.
Oh, just a second.
Hi. So you're still locking your door?
Yes, which is very silly of me.
All right, I didn't say that. It's certainly understandable.
Uh-huh. But still pretty childish. You've been treating me as if I were a hysterical female.
That's not true. I've been perfectly willing to talk to you about it, but you know what the facts are.
Of course. There were no marks on Debbie's body, at least none that could have killed her. She died of a heart attack.
That's right.
But they checked back on the physical she took when she was admitted here, and there was nothing wrong with her heart. Look,
Bill, we've been through this before. Debbie thought she saw something in the mirror. Thought she saw it again out on that campus, and that made me think I saw it too.
Look, darling.
Don't call me darling.
Why not?
Because I don't want you to. When I first signed up for the course, you teased me about it, even though you've done a lot of reading in that same field yourself.
I didn't tease.
Yes, you did, Bill. And you made a few remarks about Lansing, saying you had a funny feeling about him. But now all
Still have a funny feeling about him. As a matter of fact, I feel funnier about him now than ever.
Why?
Well, because I did a little checking up on him this afternoon. You know, we taught this same course at State last year.
Yes, I know. What of it?
Well, there was an incident there that was very similar to what happened to Debbie. I mean, a student, a member of the swimming team, and therefore presumably very healthy, died suddenly one night of a heart attack.
One of his students?
No. That's the only difference. He wasn't one of Lansing's students.
Well, then why do you call it similar? And why are you making a point of it? If there was no connection between them,
Look, I don't know if there was or not, but I thought perhaps I ought to look into it a little further.
How?
I'm going to go see Lansing. I'm going to talk to him.
No, Bill.
Why not?
Because I feel odd about him, too. I have ever since Debbie died, and I'm afraid.
Yes?
Good afternoon. Is Professor Lansing at home?
Yes, he is.
Do you think I could see him? My name's Taylor, Bill Taylor, and I'm an instructor in the English department. I stopped by his office, but he wasn't there.
No. He's been very upset about the death of his student, so he's been working at home.
I see. It was an unfortunate thing.
Yes, it was.
You're not Mrs. Lansing, are you?
Yes, I am. Why?
Oh, well, it's just that I thought, I heard...
That I wasn't well?
Yes, that's right.
I wasn't. But I'm fine now. You want to come with me? I'm sure Arnold will be glad to talk to you.
Thank you.
Yes? Arnold, this is Mr. Taylor of the English department here.
Come in, Mr. Taylor. Come in. Sit down, won't you?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to tell you how pleased I am that you agreed to stay and continue with your course.
Well, I was reluctant to, but the faculty committee felt that I should.
What happened was very unfortunate, but I don't see how you could have been considered responsible for it in any way.
Well, I felt I was. It seems Miss Ross was a very imaginative person, very open to suggestion, which I should have realized.
I don't think anyone would have realized it. I wonder if you could help me in a project of my own.
If I can, I'd be very happy to. What's the project?
My doctoral thesis, which is a study of the dark tradition that runs through English literature and led to the Gothic novel.
Oh, yes. Very interesting. Well, just how can I help you?
Well, I've done a certain amount of reading in the field, but I wondered if you could give me a copy of the bibliography you used for your course.
Well, I'll be glad to. Unfortunately, I don't have any copies here, but I'll send you whatever I have as soon as I get to my office. What's your address?
21 Maple Street.
All right. I'll get it off to you tomorrow.
I'm very grateful to you.
Not at all.
You gave the same course at State last year, didn't you?
Yes, matter of fact, I did.
Did you know Tom Wallace when you were at State?
Wallace? No, I'm afraid not. Was he a member of the faculty?
No, he was an undergraduate on the swimming team. He died very suddenly near the end of the term.
Oh, yes, I do seem to remember that. Was he a friend of yours?
No, a friend of a friend. Well, I think I'll be running along, and I do thank you, Professor Lansing.
Oh, not at all. Goodbye, Mr. Taylor.
Did he go?
Yes. What did you think of him?
He seemed like quite a pleasant young man, and very attractive.
Hmm. Well, I'm glad you think so, because he's going to be our next.
Oh? Well, you don't have to worry about that for a while. You've got another 4 months.
Yes, I know, but I'm a little concerned about him. As you said, he seemed quite pleasant and very plausible, but he asked me some rather strange questions.
What kind of questions?
About where I'd been before I taught at State. Also about your young friend, Tom Wallace.
You think he suspects?
I don't see how he can. But we can't afford to take any chances.
No, I suppose not. I wasn't going to mention it, but
He acted rather strangely with me, too. He seemed surprised that I was up and around.
Oh? That settles it then.
When are you going to do it?
As soon as possible. Beth?
Yes, Bill?
I've been waiting for you. You want to come in here for a minute? I want to show you something.
Of course. What is it?
This.
Oh, it's the mirror. The mirror Lansing gave Debbie.
Uh-huh. That's what I thought.
Where did you get it?
I found it in my desk drawer about a half an hour ago.
Well, how did it get there?
Well, obviously somebody put it there. I was out all morning and I never locked my door.
Professor Lansing?
Who else? It's his. And the police must have given it back to him after Debbie died.
Oh, why would he put it in your desk?
That's a very interesting question. I think I can answer it, but if I do, you're going to think I've flipped out.
No, I won't.
Well, you should, because it's completely impossible. Do you know what a sending is?
No.
When someone who's involved in black magic knows enough and is powerful enough to raise an evil spirit, he can send that spirit to destroy someone.
Oh, no. You mean that thing that Debbie saw in the mirror that I saw out on the campus?
Yes.
And it's here now? In the mirror?
No. But the spirit has to be guided to the victim. And in this case, it's being done with the mirror. It will go where the mirror is.
I still don't understand, Bill. I can understand why he might want to get rid of you, but what did he have against Debbie?
He didn't have anything against her, but there was something of hers he wanted. Her life.
Her life?
Do you remember what I told you about Mrs. Lansing yesterday?
Uh-huh.
That, well, the story was that she was quite old and ill. She turned out to be young and well and attractive.
Yes.
Well, according to the grimoires, the books of black magic, when you raise a spirit, you can also make a bargain with it. Give it the life of someone else in exchange for some more time for yourself or someone close to you.
Bill.
I told you it was impossible.
Well, I would have said so, too, a week or so ago, but now I don't think so. I think it's true. What are you going to do about it?
I've got to get rid of the mirror.
Destroy it?
No, I'm not sure I can do that. I'm going to act as if it were all true, all possible, and fight fire with fire. I'm going to get the mirror back to Lansing.
Give it back to him?
No, put it in his house without his knowing it.
Well, how can you do that?
I think I can. He has a class this afternoon.
Yeah, but what about his wife?
Oh, she'll probably go out sometime. If she doesn't, I'll phone her. I'll give her a message that'll get her out of the house.
Bill, I'm coming with you.
All right, Beth. Come on in.
How did you get in?
The back door was open.
You sure no one's home?
Well, you saw his wife leave a minute ago.
Yes. What do you want me to do?
Wait here with the door open a crack so you can see out.
All right. Where are you going?
Into his study.
You won't belong? I'm frightened.
No. I'll be back as quick as I can.
All right. Go ahead. Bill!
What is it?
Nothing. The clock startled me. Will you be much longer?
No. Come in here a minute.
You think it's safe?
Yeah.
What is it?
I hid the mirror behind the books on one of the shelves, but while I was here, I thought I'd look in his desk, and I found this box.
What's in it?
This rod. It's used for raising spirits.
And that other thing that's all wrapped up?
Yeah, I was just going to look at it. I think it... Yes. It's an arthame.
What's that?
Well, it's a magic knife that's used to control a spirit once it's been evoked. This is the seal of Solomon here on the hilt.
And it is
all true, at least...
Yeah, it looks that way.
Bill, you got rid of the mirror, so let's go.
Just a second. I want to think. I don't want him to be able to do anything like this again, but I can't take the whole box. I mean, if I do, he'll know someone was here. On the other hand, yes, I can take the odds.
Well, won't that do the same thing, Bill? Let him know we were here?
No, not right away. See, when I was here yesterday, I saw... Oh, there it is. A dagger. See, I'll wrap that up and I'll put it in the box instead of the Arthame.
Well, what'll happen if he tries to use it?
I don't know.
All right, Mia.
Is it time?
We said midnight.
You are sure he's there? In his room, now?
He has an early class tomorrow, so I would assume so. Now hold the box while I light the incense.
Arnold, I don't like this.
Why not?
We've never done anything like it before. Twice. Not just in the same place, but within a few weeks.
We had no choice, Mia. He's suspicious. And if he goes on prying and asking questions...
Yeah. All right.
Give me the rod.
Here.
Pior, wherever you are, hear me. Do you hear me, Pior? With this rod and in the names of Dageram, Amatet, Algar, and Algasna, I summon thee.
There it is, Arnold. Over there, near the bookcase.
I see it. Give me the Arthame.
Here.
Stay where you are. I hold the Arthame. I have another life for you. A man this time. He has your mirror. Go to him and destroy him. Why are you looking at me that way? Why aren't you going? I tell you, he has your mirror. Bill, the Arthame, it's my Persian dagger.
What?
Quick, find it. If you don't... No, keep away from me. Please.
Oh, my God, no!
What time is it now?
12:15.
Do you think he's tried to do anything?
I don't know. And I don't know how we'll be able to find out unless...
Oh, what's that?
It's a police car. It's going that way, toward the Lansing house.
But why?
Let me see if I can find out. Hello, security? This is William Taylor on Maple Street. One of your squad cars just went by, going over towards Willow Road. Do you know why? I mean, is there anything wrong? Oh, I see. Thank you.
What did they say?
They're not sure what's wrong. Someone on Willow Road called and said they heard terrible screams coming from number 45. As if someone were being murdered.
Oh, but that's...
Yes. Their house.
Oh, Bill, what are you going to do? Are you going to say anything?
Well, what would be the point? Do you think anyone would believe it?
Of course no one would believe it. Things like that don't happen. At least not today. Oh, people may have thought they were possible once. There are many medieval tales of men who tried to use the powers of evil for their own ends and were finally destroyed by them. I'll be back shortly.
Young I may be, but still I'm a man. Turn 18 and I'll do what I can to find me a place where I can be me. Get ready for life, be free and the sea. Oh, where do I go from here? Oh, where do I go from here? I'm finished with school, but what lies ahead? Don't wanna get trapped, wanna feel free instead. All over the world, there's so much to do. The call of the sea, don't you hear it too? Oh,
about the new Navy. You'll get your chance of success, learn an exciting job, and see the world. Call toll-free 800-841-8000 or see your Navy recruiter. Be someone special in the new Navy.
I know where I'm going from here.
As I told you, the tale you just heard was a work of fiction, completely imaginary. But I am reminded of what Shakespeare said. Why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair, and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. Our cast included Mandel Kramer, Marion Seldes, Tony Roberts, and Phoebe Doran. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
Barry, you ain't got nothing but friends around here. I ain't poking into your chicken coop. I just hope she's someone who'll treat you right. And I'm right sorry to hear she's poorly.
Well, she got herself caught in the devil's cauldron. I had to pull her out.
You don't say now. Local girl?
I don't know. Any missing hereabouts?
Not as I've heard tell. Can I ask her name?
Udine.
Udine. That's a kind of foreign, like, eh? What's she look like?
She looks like the spitting image of Barbara Jane.
And you found her in the devil's cauldron?
Half buried in the quicksand.
Larry, boy, you sure she's what she seems to be?
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
That's the horror for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. You can find a lot more from the CBS Radio Mystery Theater, past episodes of The Horror, and thousands of other old-time radio episodes at relicradio.com. Don't forget to donate while you're there and help keep this show coming every week, or visit donate.relicradio.com. It'll take you to the page where you'll find some downloadable sets for certain donation amounts, though any amount is always appreciated and helpful. Thank you, as always, to those who have helped out. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to check in tomorrow for another episode of Strange Tales, and next Saturday for our next episode of The Horror.
Strange Tales.
RelicRadio.com presents tales of the strange and bizarre, the weird and the wicked. Stories not necessarily of the supernatural, but of the unnatural. Join us now for Strange Tales, featuring radio drama at its most mysterious and unusual. Welcome back to Strange Tales. Thanks for joining me this Sunday. Our story comes from The Haunting Hour this week, series that aired first in March of 1945 through May of 1946. 52 episodes over the NBC network and syndicated later on. Our story today is from March 31st, 1945. It's titled Bird of Death.
No, stay where you are. Do not break the stillness of this moment. For this is a time of mystery. A time when imagination is free and moves forward swiftly, silently. This is the haunting hour. Bird of Death. This is the story of a man named Spear, of a bird, a kind of carrion crow, and of a student of birds named Victor. This is also a story of Victor's uncle, Oren, but that comes later. At this moment, we are concerned only with the trio, Spear, Victor, and the bird of death, the crow.
Watch this, Victor. I'm going to get him. I wouldn't if I were you, Spear. Got him. No, you just wounded him. He's getting away. Why did you object to my shooting that bird? It's a member of the Corvus Coroni family, a kind of carrion crow. So what? Well, there's an old Indian tradition about those particular birds. A tradition, eh? Well, what is it? Not that I'm interested in those old superstitions. I would be if I were you, Spear. Why? Because, according to legend, it is the bird of death.
This is also the story of Victor's uncle, Oren, a man with a different kind of interest in birds, an interest that often took him and Spear to a certain marsh.
Are those all the decoys we brought with us, Spear?
Yes, sir.
Then roll over to the blind. Never can tell when a flight of ducks will come along.
Yes, sir.
There's that old fishing weir. It's a pity it isn't used anymore. I hate to see anything wasted.
Yes, sir.
Just a lot of stakes driven into the marsh. A fish trap. They bait it, the fish get in, and they're caught. Looks like an arrow from above.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad we put the decoys around it. It's a natural place for them. Makes the setting perfect. No duck will be suspicious of it.
Yes, sir.
You stop that infernal yes, sir. Can't you say anything besides yes, sir?
Yeah, of course, Mr. Oren. Anything you wish.
You know, you're too agreeable today, Spear. Too agreeable. There's a streak of cussedness in you. It's usually right beneath the surface, but you're covering it up today. And covering it up real well. What's up?
Why, nothing. Nothing at all, Mr. Oren. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't, eh? Well, most people don't know what the other fellow's talking about. That's what's wrong with the world. More people would. Hurry up, Spear. You're rowing as if we had all day.
Yes, sir.
Kankadoo, what a perfect setting that old fishing weir makes for our decoys. Why, the ducks will come right into the nozzles of our shotguns without suspecting there are any hunters around.
It's a good setup, all right.
Good. It's perfect. You know, that's what counts in the world, Spear. The setting. Give a man the right setting and he can get away with murder. Why, there's been many, Hey, Spear, you're not rowing toward the blind.
No, I'm not, Mr. Oren.
You're rowing toward the fishing weir. What's the big idea?
It's the right setting, Mr. Oren. Give a man the right setting and he can get away with murder. You said so yourself.
Murder? Murder? What are you talking about? Whose murder?
Yours, Mr. Oren.
You stop rowing. Now, Spear, I don't like this.
That's understandable. Most of us are cowards. We flinch from death. Even wealthy men like you, Mr. Oren.
Oh, stop joking.
Does this shotgun look as if I'm joking?
You'll notice it's pointed right at your chest, and the shotgun at close range is a pretty messy weapon, I've read.
Why, you...
You needn't bother looking for your shotgun. It's behind me. You haven't a chance in the world of getting it. In fact, you haven't a chance, period.
Spear, you're crazy. You can't get away with this. I'll call for help.
In the first place, you won't call. The instant you even try to yell, I'll pull the trigger. In the second place, who'd hear you out here in the marsh?
Why, I don't... Victor, yes, that's it. Victor might hear me. He often comes out here to study bird life. Or maybe one of the servants may be around here.
None of the servants will be around here today. You know Jed's too lazy to do anything he doesn't have to, and Kathy's rheumatism will keep her indoors on a day like this.
But Victor...
He won't be here today either. No, Mr. Oren, you'd better not count on help from your dear nephew. I've taken care of him.
You killed Victor?
Now, why would I do that? I only want to kill one man, and that's you, Mr. Oren. No, I saw to it that Victor received a new book on ornithology this morning. He's in his study reading about the habits of birds.
The habits of birds. Birds that, according to scientists, were once reptiles. But according to science, man was also once a reptile. So the lives of the two, birds and men, may at times be interwoven. In his study, Victor muses.
Birds are strange creatures. Jed, do you know that the Ardea herodias...
The what?
The Ardea herodias, the great blue heron.
You mean like them that live round the marsh?
Precisely. Well, the Ardea herodias has one claw that's toothed.
You don't say.
I don't, but this book does. It says the middle toe is toothed.
What's the bird want teeth in his middle toe for?
I suppose to make it easier to hold on to the fish it catches. You've seen them catch fish, haven't you?
Yeah, especially around the old fish trap in the marsh. I don't reckon I ever saw one of them lose a fish once he grabbed a hold of it.
Precisely.
Oh, say, I reckon there ain't much them book writers don't know. Wonder how they learn it.
By observation, Jed. Oh, I tell you, this is a fine book. I just got it this morning. I don't know who sent it, but whoever did certainly knew what he was doing. It's a remarkable book. You ought to read it.
Yeah, I ain't no hand at book reading.
To think that a man like you or me, could learn so much about ornithology.
About what, Mr. Victor?
Ornithology, that's the scientific name for the study of bird life.
Oh.
And he learned it the right way, by watching birds in their native habitats.
Yeah? The what?
Where they live.
What do you want to do that for?
Because it's so interesting. It's fascinating. I think I'll go down to the marsh to watch the Ardea herodias myself. Yes, that's what I'll do this very instant. I'm going to the marsh.
Oren went to the marsh to kill birds. Spear went to kill Oren. Victor is going to the marsh to observe birds. Birds and men, they're all interwoven as the threads of life and of death.
But why do you want to kill me, Spear? You've been my secretary almost 10 years. I've paid you well, haven't I? I've been good to you, haven't I?
But not as good as I'm going to be to myself.
Why, I even made a provision in my will for you.
But not as big as the provision I've made in it.
As you've made? What are you talking about?
I've destroyed your will and substituted one to fit my own ambitions. I'm going to inherit quite a piece of your estate.
So you won't get away with it? You'll be found out.
Do you think so? How many years have I been signing your name to letters?
About 8.
Has anyone ever detected that it isn't your signature?
No, that is...
Exactly. No one will ever suspect the will is a forgery. Simple, isn't it?
But it is never simple, Spear.
You're quite philosophic for a man who's about to die. But you overlook the fact that I've planned this carefully for 5 years. I know every detail of what I'm going to do. There isn't a chance of a slip-up.
The perfect crime, eh?
Yes, I suppose you can call it that. Everything will go just as I planned it, Mr. Oren. With your money, I'll be on Easy Street the rest of my life.
I'm not dead yet.
I'll take care of that in a moment, sir.
There are easier ways of making money, Spear.
I like this way better. Incidentally, that's where you're going to be buried, Mr. Oren. Over there at the fishing weir. Take a good look at it. Not every man gets a chance to see his future grave.
No, not every man gets a chance to see his future grave. But every man has his own hopes of averting, or at least delaying, death. Other people may inadvertently help him. For instance, right now at Oren's house, Kathy, the housekeeper, is saying...
Jed, where's Mr. Victor?
In his study, I reckon.
You reckon. Oh, never seen such a man for not knowing nothing.
Well, ain't he in his study?
No, he ain't. But I'd be asking if he was there.
No, I don't reckon you would.
Oh, there you go, reckoning again. Can't you give a body a straight answer?
What do you always want to be picking on me for, Kathy? I ain't no nursemaid to know where everybody's at all the time.
Now, Jed, you keep a civil tongue in your head. Master Goshen, you think a body said something outlandish to you. All I asked...
All you asked was if I knowed where Mr. Victor is, and I said... Say, I just remembered. He said he was going out to the marsh to see...
Just what I thought. He's going out to see if he can get a look at some of them wild birds he's so crazy about. Oh, I might have known it. That man'll be the death of me yet.
Well, what you carrying on like that for? Can a man go for a walk to the marsh without you raising a ruckus?
Not without his Mackinaw on a raw day like this, he can't. That poor boy'll catch his death of cold. Goshen, I don't know what folks would do if I didn't look after him. Now, you get Mr. Victor's Mackinaw and take it to him right this minute.
Oh, Kathy, if he didn't take it himself, maybe it's 'cause he don't want it.
Jed, you do like I say. You take Mr. Victor's Mackinaw to him right this minute. If he had my rheumatism, he'd know better than leaving it behind.
But how am I going to know where he's at?
You just said yourself he was going to the marsh. Well, you go there, too. Keep looking till you find him.
Oh, all right. Don't get het up about it. I reckon all I do around here is go traipsing around following.
Have you had a good look at your future grave, Mr. Oren? You're going to be in it soon. I'm going to kill you with your own shotgun. It'll be the culmination of 5 years of careful planning.
Oh, you ungrateful wretch.
You ought to keep quiet and listen to me. And don't make any suspicious moves. I've got an itchy trigger finger, and I don't want anything to happen to you until I'm absolutely ready.
Spear, I'm telling you again.
You're telling me again that I can't get away with it. Well, you're wrong, Mr. Oren. You're not dealing with stocks and bonds now. You're dealing with human life. Your life.
All right, Spear. You win. I'll make a deal with you.
What kind of a deal?
I'll pay you as much money as you want. If only you won't kill me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'll make you rich.
You'll double-cross me, that's what you'll do.
No, honestly.
Honestly, that's a laugh. What an awful sap you must think I am. Why, you turn me over to the police so fast it would make my head swim. But it's your head that's going to swim. Underwater.
No, Spear, please.
I'm going to shoot you, then I'm going to tie you to the bottom of one of the stakes of the fishing weir. You'll be fastened so securely, you'll be there forever. No one will ever find you there.
Spear, listen to me. I'll do anything you say, anything. Only don't kill me.
You're stalling for time, Mr. Oren, but it won't do you any good.
Listen to me.
You know nothing you say will keep me from carrying out my plans.
I'll turn my property over to you. I'll make it legal. You'll be rich. Now think it over.
I have thought it over. For 5 years. That's a long time, Mr. Oren. Everything is just as I planned it, including your begging for mercy.
I promise. I promise I'll never tell anybody about this, if only...
Of course you'll never tell anybody about this. You know the old saying, dead men tell no tales.
Spear, I don't want to die.
No one wants to die. And no one wants to lie at the bottom of a marsh tied to a fish trap. It isn't much of a monument, especially for a rich man like you, Mr. Oren. But it's going to be yours for eternity.
Please.
Your proposition, if I let you live.
I'll do anything you want, Spear. Anything you want. I'll give you everything I've got. Now, you'll never regret it. Believe me, you won't.
You're right. I'll never regret it. And by it, I mean this.
This is the story of Spear and a gun which he fired twice. The first time at a crow which he did not kill but merely crippled. The second time at his employer, Mr. Oren, whom he murdered on the spot. This is the story of Victor, Mr. Oren's nephew, a student of bird life who worries about the crippled crow and who questions Spear about the disappearance of his uncle. He does not know that Spear has fastened Mr. Oren's dead body to the bottom of an old fishing weir in the marsh.
You were right, Victor. That crow was the bird of death. Of course, I don't believe in Indian superstitions, but if I hadn't shot that bird, maybe Mr. Oren wouldn't be dead now.
Don't blame yourself, Spear. But what I can't understand is why we haven't been able to recover the body. That crew of men has been searching around the center of the marsh with grappling hooks all day now.
Maybe the body is caught on a shrub or something at the bottom.
Yes, could be. If that's the case, I'll ask them to use dynamite.
Dynamite? I hadn't thought of that.
Are you sure you pointed out the exact spot where the accident happened?
I'm positive.
Then there's nothing to do but use dynamite. That'll dislodge anything in the immediate vicinity. Been using dynamite and still no sign of Uncle's body.
I'm just as sorry about that as you are, but as I said before, it's probably wedged between some shrubs or rocks down at the bottom. These old marshes are full of them, you know.
Yes.
I know how you must feel, Victor, but please bear in mind it isn't easy for me either.
I can understand that, your having been with him when it happened.
I'll never forget it. It was terrible. Last night I dreamed about it. I felt the water closing over me as I surface dived the last time trying to find him. My hands searched in vain. I could feel the water suffocating me, and then I awoke drenched in cold sweat. Oh, if only I could have saved him.
Don't blame yourself, Spear. You did everything you could. It's too bad Jed and I didn't get here about 5 minutes sooner. Then we could have helped.
Yes, it's too bad.
I can't get over an experienced hunter like Uncle capsizing the boat.
Well, as I told you before, he was so anxious to get the duck he'd shot, he leaned way over the gunwale as he reached for it. He leaned too far. The boat turned over, plunging us both into the water.
Yes, you told us about that.
I tried to get him to stay in the blind while I rowed out and retrieved the bird, but no, nothing would do but for him to get into the boat with me. I asked him not to.
Why?
Why what?
Why did you ask him not to get into the boat with you?
Well, I don't really know, only...
Only you had a premonition. Is that it, Spear?
Well, no, that is not exactly... only there was no necessity for both of us going after the duck. I could have gotten it myself. I always have in the past when we went hunting together.
But this time, things worked out differently, eh, Spear?
Yes, this time things worked out differently.
Maybe things like that are planned.
What do you mean?
Oh, fate, destiny, you know, that sort of thing.
I believe everything happens according to plan. Everything.
Who will gainsay that everything does happen according to plan? But whose plan? And what is the plan? Is there no such thing as circumstance? And what part does it play in the plans a man may make?
And they haven't found the body yet?
Nary a sign of it, Kathy. Nary a sign.
Oh, poor Mr. Orrin, not getting a decent burial. It ain't right, him being down the bottom of the marsh like that. I tell you, Jed, it ain't right.
No, reckon ain't nobody gonna argue with you about that. But day's dynamiting ain't done no good. Ain't much more that can be done.
You mean they'll leave him down there?
I reckon so. What else can they do?
Well, I don't rightly know, but seems like they oughtn't to give up till they find poor Mr. Orrin's body.
Maybe they ain't never going to find it.
Why?
Maybe it just wasn't meant to be found.
Oh, Jed, you don't make no sense.
No, lots of things don't make no sense if you ask me.
Things like what?
Well, I don't rightly know how to put it, but some things just don't add up.
Oh, land of Goshen, Jed, you're going to drive me plumb crazy with that kind of talk. What things don't add up?
Well, it's like this, Kathy. You recollect you sent me out to the marsh to find Mr. Victor and give him his Mackinaw?
Of course I recollect.
Well, I done like you told me to. I found him moseying along toward the marsh, reading one of them books that he got the very day of Mr. Orrin's accident.
I know all about that.
Yeah, but here's what you don't know. He asked me to go to the marsh with him. He wanted to show me something about about blue heron. And so I went with him.
I know all about that, too. What of it?
Hold your horses, will you? I'm coming to that. We heard a shot from the marsh, along about the fishing weir, I'd say. And a few minutes later, when we got there was Mr. Spear dripping water and climbing out of the marsh with his story about how Mr. Orrin was drowned.
Well, what don't add up with that? It's exactly what Mr. Spear's been telling about the accident.
Yeah, but according to his story, Mr. Orrin, he shot a duck from where they was hiding in the blind. The duck fell in the middle of the marsh, and he and Mr. Spear, they got in the boat and rowed out to get the dead bird.
That's right.
Mr. Orrin leans out to pick the duck out of the water, and the boat turns over, drowning him, even though Mr. Spear, according to his story, done everything he could to save Mr. Orrin. Now, appears to me that was a mighty short time for all that to happen. Seems like all them doings ought to take more than the 4 or 5 minutes it took me and Mr. Victor to get to the marsh and see Mr. Spear climbing out of it.
Oh, land of Goshen, Jed, that kind of talk would drive a body clean out of their mind. Maybe it took you and Mr. Victor more than 4 or 5 minutes to get to the edge of the marsh.
No, it didn't.
And even if it didn't, that don't mean nothing. Things just naturally happen fast sometimes.
Yeah, maybe. But still, it just don't set right with me. I reckon it ought to take more time than that for all them things to happen.
So they stopped dynamiting her?
Yeah, Kathy. Mr. Victor finally gave it up. Said there was no use keeping it up forever.
Oh, that means poor Mr. Orrin will be down there at the bottom of the marsh till doomsday.
I reckon so. I still say the whole thing don't add up just right.
Oh, now don't start that again, Jed. I say, Buddy just can't stand being around you when you carry on with such crazy talk.
I just can't help feeling
Oh,
that...
land of Goshen. You make even my rheumatism worse for that kind of talk.
All right, then, I'll keep quiet about it. But I still say...
There you go again.
All right. Don't get yourself het up.
You and your crazy talk. You haven't told Mr. Victor any of it, have you?
No.
Well, don't. Got enough on his mind right now as is.
I won't say nary word about it to him.
Promise?
Yes, I promise.
That's better. By the way, where is Mr. Victor now?
I reckon he and Mr. Spears over at the lawyer's for the reading of the will.
Looks like they could have waited a spell before they went into that.
Mr. Spears said they might as well get over with.
Guess he's right. Oh, I get all fussed up inside thinking of poor Mr. Orrin resting down the butt. Jed, where you going?
I think I'll just mosey on over to the marsh for a spell. I just can't get it through my head why the whole thing don't add up.
Believe me, Victor, the contents of the will are as much of a surprise to me as they must be to you. I thought Mr. Orrin would remember me, but I didn't dream he would leave me the bulk of his estate.
Neither did I.
I'm sorry if it upsets your plans in any way.
My plans? Looks as though Uncle didn't think much of them.
Then he knew about them?
He knew I wanted to devote my life to ornithology. He gave me the impression he approved of it.
He must have changed his mind.
Evidently. But it doesn't change mine. I'm going to be an ornithologist. I played around with it before as a hobby, but I'm in dead earnest now. I'm going to start right away. In fact, right now.
Now?
Yes. Spear, I'm going to begin with the birds I've observed closely the last few days.
But, Victor, you were at the marsh the last few days.
Precisely. And there were birds there, birds I want to see again. Spear, drive as close to the marsh as you can, and we'll walk the rest of the way.
If you don't mind my saying so, it sounds rather silly to me.
Do you mind doing what I ask?
No, I don't mind. Why should I?
I don't know. Then there are other things I don't know. Things I intend to find out about. Do you have a gun?
A what?
A gun. What's the matter? Don't you understand English?
Look, Victor, I can understand your being upset about the will.
Well, have you got a gun or haven't you?
There's a double-barrel shotgun in the back of the car.
That's perfect for what I want. Now, row out to the middle of the marsh, where the accident happened.
Very well, if that's what you want, but it seems rather
That's what I want.
Okay. Well, here we are. Now, what's this got to do with birds?
Plenty. See that buzzard of a crow sitting there on the fishing weir? The bird you crippled? Well, watch me take a shot at him.
You missed him.
I intended to. Killing isn't in my line.
What does that crack mean?
You'll know soon enough.
I don't understand you, Victor. First you try to keep me from shooting that bird. Then you take a crack at him and miss him on purpose. You must be losing your mind.
On the contrary, my mind is just beginning to function. Now, Spear, I want you to row over to the fish trap.
Huh?
You heard me. I said row over to the fishing weir.
Now, look, Victor, I've had all of this I want. You can't order me around.
I'll remind you that this is a double-barrel shotgun. Only one shell has been fired, so the other barrel is still loaded, and it's pointed right at you. Do I make myself understood?
Yes.
All right, then. Row! Edge the boat over a little, Spear. Right against the stake that crow is sitting on.
Why, it's back.
Yes, it's back. Back on the same stake it's been sitting on for 3 days now. It just sits there and stares hungrily straight down into the water.
Well, what of it?
That bird is a scavenger, Spear. It isn't here to catch fish like the other birds. It's only interested in carrion.
All right, so it's interested in carrion. What's that to me?
You're interested in carrion too, Spear, but in a different way.
You're crazy. You don't know what you're saying.
Prove it. Let's investigate that stake, the one the bird was perched on.
No, let's go back to the house.
You're afraid because my uncle's corpse is at the other end of it, Spear.
No, of course not. It's because...
Well, you give me that...
No, I've got the gun. All right, your uncle's down there at the bottom of the fish trap. I killed him just as I'm going to kill you right...
I got him just in time, Mr. Victor. I heard what he said. I was there in the duck blind. I'm sure glad I had my rifle with me.
I told him that Corvus Coroni was the bird of death.
This is the story of a man named Spear, of a bird, a kind of carrion crow, of a student of bird life named Victor, and of his uncle, Orrin. A story of birds and men interwoven as the threads of life and death. From shadows and stillness, mystery weaves a spell of strangest fascination, charging the mind with doubts and fears.
For mystery is a strange companion, a living memory in the haunting hour.
That's our Strange Tale for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. You can find more from the Haunting Hour, Strange Tales, and all of the other Relic Radio podcasts at relicradio.com. Got thousands of old-time radio episodes available to listen to there, and our Shoutcast stream, all made possible by your support. If you'd like to help support this and all of the shows and the Shoutcast stream and everything else we have going on, visit donate.relicradio.com. Click on the link on the website. Your support makes it all happen. Thanks to those who have helped out and made 15 years of Relic Radio possible. Thanks for joining me today. Be back next Sunday with another story on Relic Radio's Strange Tales.